Good afternoon again and welcome. Over the last few weeks we've been talking about the practice of meditation in the Buddhist tradition, and in the last 2 weeks in particular we've been talking about mindfulness, presence, gradually becoming aware of what happens in us and to us as and when it happens. And we've said that the purpose of this is simply to become more aware so that we know what is happening to us, how we feel, what's really going on in our mind, so that we're in a better position to make intelligent judgments about how to behave. And we have emphasized very strongly that mindfulness is about detached watching, being a detached onlooker. And indeed, that is what it is about, to allow there to be a space between our experience of something and then reacting to it. And as that space expands, it gives us the possibility of making a choice, deciding whether we're going to react or not, and if we're going to react, how. So when we're talking about detachment, we tend to think of this in terms of equanimity, or perhaps even indifference, or disengagement. And there is an element of truth in that too. However, it is possible that we can become detached in a way that is not skillful or not helpful to us. It is possible that we could develop what you might call a clinical detachment. They use this term clinical detachment because the scientist or the doctor or the nurse tries to develop this type of detachment. They're working in the hospital all day with people perhaps with horrible diseases or terrible injuries, and if they reacted emotionally each time this happened, very soon they would become exhausted. They wouldn't be able to do their job. So they deliberately cultivate a clinical detachment. They objectify the patient. Now, we don't want to develop that type of detachment. We want to develop what I will call a warm detachment. At first this may appear to be paradoxical, but indeed it is possible. And so today we're going to talk about another type of meditation that we can do together with mindfulness of breathing, so that we develop not a clinical detachment, but a warm detachment. We've said before that the Buddha talks about many different types of meditation, and one of the meditations he talks about is called Metta Bhavana. Metta Bhavana. We said before that Bhavana means mental development, or if you like, meditation. And metta comes from the Pali word mitta, a friend, or mittata, friendliness. So we can call metta warm concern, loving interest, or more commonly translated as loving kindness. The development of loving kindness. And the purpose of this meditation is to balance detachment. The purpose of this meditation is to engage the emotions in the process of meditation, in the process of spiritual development. Wisdom and compassion. The head and the heart. The knowing quality of the mind, the feeling quality of the mind. We know that emotional involvement can often be very problematic. Strong attachment, strong love, strong hate, this can be very distorting for consciousness. But we also know that emotions can uplift, they can inspire, they can motivate us. So why shouldn't we harness the power of the emotions, particularly the positive emotions, in the spiritual quest? And that is the purpose of Metta Bhavana. How do you do this meditation? How do we Metta Bhavana? How do we develop loving kindness? Let us say you're doing your ordinary practice. You're sitting down in a comfortable posture, putting your hands in your lap or on your knees, relaxing your body, and just focusing your attention on the breath, being aware of the in-breath, aware of the out-breath. Let's say you're doing this for half an hour a day. In time, and now you've been doing for about 4 weeks, in time, it is bound to happen that there will be periods when you do feel quite detached. You're aware of the breath, but effortlessly. You might even be aware of thoughts arising and passing away, but not getting involved in them. Maybe this only happens for a short period of time, or maybe for an extended period, a minute, half a minute, 2 minutes. But it will happen soon. And it may be that when this happens, you feel a deep but subtle joy. In the beginning, it might be almost like a sense of relief that the mind has become quiet, a sense of achievement. Or it may be that you're doing this meditation and then for a few moments, quite unexpectedly, joy descends, sometimes quite strong joy. It often happens that the first time this occurs to you, it is often spoiled because we think, goodness, what's that? This must be it. I'm at the portals of enlightenment. And those interrupting thoughts can spoil it. They can make it dissipate. But if you are doing a regular practice, keeping the body relaxed, not being too concerned about results, this is bound to happen. A deep, still, subtle joy, or sometimes quite a strong joy. It might be for a few moments, it might be for a few minutes, perhaps even longer. If this happens, this is what I would like you to do. If and when this happens, this is what I'd like you to do. When you notice that there is a subtle joy, or this perhaps more intense joy, remove your attention from your breath. Focus your attention on the center of your chest, your solar plexus. Focus your attention on the solar plexus. And then what I'd like you to do is deliberately and consciously think of yourself. And then quietly, in your mind, say these words to yourself. May I be well and happy.